stand for it.
It's recording right now. Show the whole table. You gotta show the whole thing. We are here at Trader Joe's, taking over the parking lot again. They tried to call the cops on us many, many times in the last week. We won every time. Even yesterday, we had 2 sheriffs and 4 squad cars. 4 cops show up for petitioners, and will ever even show up to your home if you get broken into, if your family, your children get stolen, or your wife gets assaulted. The police of this city care more to harass petitioners than they do to send an officer to your home if your children get stolen, your wife gets assaulted, or if a baby gets shot in the head and killed. If a 2-year-old infant gets shot, they will not even send an officer out that night. That's just what happened. That's what they're talking about in the news here in Oakland. You can see it. Everyone will tell you their own sob stories. Their home gets broken into. Not even one police officer will show up to your home. Not even one. But if you're petitioning at Trader Joe's for a very important cause, like labeling GMO foods, which the management at Trader Joe's knows, their breads, their cereals, their crackers, there's GMO soy and corn and all this stuff. They know, and they'll call 2 sheriffs, 4 squad cars down there to threaten you with arrest and lock you up in jail because they don't support free speech rights. So we tell Trader Joe's, we're gonna be out here all day, dancing and singing. Sign our petitions! Sign our petitions! Because we know how to get things done out here. Trader Joe's, call the cops again, and we will still be here tomorrow with all of our petitions. And now we got a new one to tax Trader Joe's. Tax the out-of-state corporations.
But he was very nice, and I said, well, I think they have a, do you guys have a policy about, does Trader Joe's have a policy against petitioners? Because I've seen petitioners out here. And he said, well, we have a policy against distraction. We have distraction-free shopping. And I said, so there's no policy against petitioners out front? He said, not that I know of. It's the landlord.
Yes. It is the landlord.
I just wanted to let you know.
No, I know.
Because
but it's the police officers that are supposed to do their job and tell the landlord to beat it. Because that's like if a woman, old crazy woman, calls the cops and someone's breaking into her home, there's a gnome out front of her yard. It's, look at that gnome. It's about to break into my home. They say, lady, that gnome has the right to be there, and you just should not call the cops on us every single day to have us arrest a gnome. Like, it has the right to be here. We have the right to petition here, and for them to call the cops every single day.
Have you been here every single day?
Egregious. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For the last 2 months.
Oh, so have they called the cops?
Well, you know, with the exception of some weekends and whatnot. Yeah, and I have at least 2 other incidents where I have them, they've done their diligence and they've proven we have the right to be here. But yet they go through this every single time. And I just think it's outrageous.
It's amazing that we're paying tax dollars.
We're paying tax dollars for them. They'll send up 3 cops for a petitioner, but if you get your home broken into, see how many people show up. And see how any of these cops care about it at all.
Well, I do think the cops do care, but I think that, you know, the problem is that
if they do their diligence,
I don't know what the laws are. I would like to find out. I just want to find out if Trader Joe's has a policy against it.
Yeah, they do. They have this distraction-free thing, and whatever that is, it doesn't matter because their policy does not trump state law.
You know what? Oh, well then you have state law on your side.
Yeah. And I have all the case law and there's about a dozen cases where petitioners sued the pants off of these property managers, which is why I'm actually accepted of any of these little trespassing tickets they give. That's fine. It's just more for our case later.
I wish you guys luck.
Thank you.
We're against one another.
I know.
I'm actually going to do some research about whether Trader Joe's uses GMO.
It's hard to tell.
ID will be 011 756.
1253?
So I mean, I'd love to show you. Don't you have to call your watch command or something before you issue?
Do you want to speak to our supervisor?
Absolutely, because you're making a gross violation of the law. You don't even know it, miss. I can show you these laws, but unless you look at them yourself or get your supervisor, you're going to write a ticket that's all that does is empower me, actually. No, and as a matter of fact, I would like you to write the ticket, and I'll be happy to leave because I'll be back, and then we're going to have a lawsuit. Be my guest. And you know what? You will be personally liable.
My supervisor.
Election code violations. It's called registering voters. We're not engaged in commercial activity. This is not a trespass. Section 602-C2. Do your diligence, Mr. Pattison, please. be an officer of the law, not an officer of Trader Joe's. They'll make a policy calling us trespassing, but this is a shared lot. And under the case law, there's several case laws. Let me just show you a handful of them, where we have the right to petition on private property. And until you've been versed in these laws, you don't even realize that you are yourself committing a violation of the election codes, punishable by misdemeanor and time in jail. Not the police department, not Trader Joe's, but you yourself, who doesn't do the due diligence to know the laws you're supposed to follow. I have the election codes, I have the case law, I have the state law. The California Constitution exempts trespassing for those protected under the California Constitution.
Guillermo, my supervisor is on his way
Thank you.
now. He's on his way, okay?
Trying to be as professional as possible and let you know that you must do your diligence and research the laws first. There's an exemption to the trespassing code, section 62-C2. It says, does not apply to those protected under the California Constitution. The First Amendment, there shall be no law prohibiting free speech. I'm not engaged in commercial activity. I'm not selling anything. I'm registering voters and collecting signatures. Here's the California state law gathering, signature gathering. California law. Here's more. I have more. Case law.
I'm good. I'm smoking.
Any person who attempts to stop petition circulators is guilty of a misdemeanor. Any threats of arrest is an attempt to stop a petitioner when we have the right to petition on privately owned property under the Pruneyard Act, under the case law. And if you just listen to Trader Joe's policy only, you're not doing your diligence, and you, officer, will be guilty of a crime, of an election code violation.
War on something for your practice, me boy. War on something for your preaching. War on something for your practice. War on something for your preaching.
Threats to dissuade, also guilty. Any threats to dissuade us from petitioning, guilty of a misdemeanor. You want to know the election codes. These are laws that you have not faced.
Sit down for a moment. I'll set this down. I'll be right back.
Something for your preaching. War on something for your practice, me boy. War on something for your preaching.
We're gonna keep doing this shit. Day in, day out. They can't stop us.
South Africa and Marine America. Even
You got the right.
Jamaica, you see in a Kingston.
First Amendment.
War on something for your practice. War on something
do the
for your
victory dance.
preaching. War on something for your
yeah.
practice, me boy. War
baby.
on something for your preaching. In the face with me, I pop a scar. And if you trademark, I beg you to wear me war. Walk on a top, which I know in me heart. Hey, get you put up your brain, get smart. War on something for your practice, me boy. War on something for your war on something for your practice, me boy. War on something for your